There's something wrong with my sound. Don't think that you can hear me, and I'm not sure why. You can hear me. Yay, okay. My phone was just on silent. All right, very good. So, yeah, how you doing? Happy weekend, exactly. Yay. I jumped on to do some oracle reading, and I think you've been here before, but if not, I'm Liz, and I read oracle cards. I am a psychic, medical intuitive, and minus trails of the chem variety. I saw one just yesterday. They're actually pretty common where I live. There's these special clouds, and whenever those clouds are out, the chemtrails always come out too. Yeah, I thought so. I was like, I'm pretty sure your DJ name looks familiar. Yeah, so there's these clouds called sylphs, and they're kind of wispy, and some people call them dragon clouds, and they're super magical. They purify the air and help the ozone, and whenever there's a lot of sylph clouds out, that's frequently when the chemtrails come out to cancel them out, among other things. But so are you in the market for a reading? Happy new moon. All right. Do you have any specific quadrant you'd like to know about? You know, health, work, relationships, those kind of things, or a specific question, or simply a reading? Relationships. All right. Very good. And you can also ask for healing. So I'm a shamanic healer and a Reiki master. So I do healings too. I think you remember. Sometimes that will even come up in the card reading if there's like a blockage or something that the guides are requesting. So for you, I was called to pull from the Angels and Ancestors deck by Kyle Gray, who I know and love. It's a very good deck for shamans. Your crown, huh? Well, for one thing, your crown is directly related, I'll say, to your thoughts and your subconscious mind. The programming of this world can really get in the way. And one of the things that really amplifies that is the way that we use our words. So even in that sentence, you're saying, but things are getting in my way. Oh, you did add in the past, which is very positive ending. But yeah, a more positive way to say that might be, you know, I sometimes experience, you know, because then, right, we're not in the story, we're the witness of, or the observer of the story. All right, you got the Druid, hold the space. So immediately they're saying silence the mind and try and do the, you know, meditation or tune into your crown from the heart space. So without anything in mind, literally. Yeah, that's totally a thing. If your brain is not getting, if it's super overactive and neural networks have closed down to try and calm your adrenals, then less blood flow can be going to your head and then therefore you can lose hair. It's a total thing. Yeah, active mind syndrome can also cause asthma. So a lot of people that have asthma, they might think, oh, I'm a relatively healthy person. It's just this asthma, which is no big deal. But really, asthma is an indication that not all is super well in the mind, that you have a very tight mind. So, all right, well, that's the only card that seems to want to jump out from this deck. So let me expand my options here. I'm going to pull from the Enchanted Map deck next by Colette Baron Reed. Headaches, huh? So, how's your diet? Do you eat gluten and dairy? Wow, a lot of cards want to come out of this deck for you. With the headaches, they're telling me there's some inflammation in your body that's related to that, and limiting, especially dairy, they're saying could be really beneficial for you. Okay, well, there you go. You intuitively already know this, so that's good. What about soy or corn? Those are typically other really inflammatory foods that can make a huge difference with headaches especially. And even with corn, because a lot of people consume it in corn chips, which can actually cause pain and tension in the jaw. Do you grind your teeth at night at all? Because that's another thing that sometimes can cause headaches. Yeah, I mean, sometimes too, headaches can be a symptom of too much fat in your liver. And it's not necessarily like anything major to worry about, but it might be a good thing to try when you do experience headaches. Can you really go off fat for a couple days and then do more fruits, more water, more like steamed vegetables? You don't want to do like a ton of raw stuff because that's okay. I'll go all the way into this. If you have a slow liver, it can manifest in many ways. Yes, low back pain is definitely one of them, because what a slow liver does is it actually slows down your whole system. So it can also slow down your digestion, which, kind of gross, but can cause a backup in your stomach and your stomach issues and your bile and your processing. And again, anytime I start to feel lower back pain, I know that my liver is probably a little overstressed. Hey, Chrysalis, how's it going? We were just talking about health and also reading Oracle, but en route. Yeah, okay, so yeah, the dryness is pretty common, and you may have a lot of yang in your system, a lot of wind in Chinese medicine, and that can also cause digestive issues and also headaches. So grounding is huge for that, and definitely, again, trying to stay away from really fatty foods. And I actually stay away from fat most of the time. I'll do avocado and I'll have nuts from time to time on occasion, but for me, I just know that my liver my liver gets a little cranky. So thanks for the hugs. We'll take them. And so anyway, that just might be something to try when you start to feel the stomach issues, or your back gets a little slow, or you start to have a headache. Just try and switch to a lot of fruit. Just and it can be really fun. I mean, raspberries are like nature's candy. So anyway, for your reading, they're wanting you to hold space. And I'm getting the sense, you asked about relationships, but they're kind of saying you need to work on yourself a little bit and getting yourself into a balanced, harmonized state before you calling in a worthwhile relationship, they're going to say. So they're saying, hold the space in terms of meditation, calming the mind, and really trying to do that without an outcome expectation, really going into with the open heart, and just whatever comes is great, just carving out the time. And as you, and breath work would be really good for you too. What I find, if I start with breath work instead of just jumping into a meditation, it really calms the mind on its own. If you think about it, if you hold your breath, and I actually consider holding my breath an active part of my breathwork practice. If I hold my breath, I can't be thinking a bunch while I'm holding my breath. So I actually start most of my meditations with a breath holding session. And so one of the things I really like to do is I do a deep breath in from my root chakra all the way up to my third eye or my crown. And then I hold it for as long as I can. And while I'm holding it, I just pay attention to the sensations in my body. So this is going to calm your mind and really bring your focus into like your lungs and your heart space. And so then I see how calm I can get while I'm holding my breath. It's a bit intense, but it's a really good way to get out of your mind super fast. Because like I said, it's really hard to think when you're holding your breath. So kind of a rare advisement, but I think you'll find that something like that would work. Also, fire breath. Do you know what fire breath is? So fire breath is, it's an active breath where it's almost as if you try and touch your belly button to your spine, and it's all through the nose. So it would be like this. And it's kind of fun because it like moves your whole body. I feel like a cowgirl when I'm doing it. But it's a really good way to, again, focus you really into the moment. And if you do even like 10, 12 fire breaths and then you pause, the sensations in your crown are phenomenal. So it's a really good way to like quantum leap yourself into more quality meditation, more quality focus, and really more quality crown space. So if you're working on your crown, those are a few things that you could do. So hopefully that's helpful. The other cards that came up in terms of your relationship reading are encouragement. And I'm getting that this is, that there's a little self-sabotage in your field. And so they're actually saying this is like self-love encouragement. I'm going to recommend some mantras for you. If you go look up like self-love, self-care, safety, you can turn on some of these mantras where they just chant all night while you're sleeping. Something like that could be helpful for you. Hey, and a lot of us have this. Our society tells us that we're lame and we suck. But really, we're awesome. We're all awesome in our super own authentic ways. So encouragement is coming up for you. And the number on that is 9. And 9 is the number of liberation. So they're saying, give yourself more love, more praise, and just acknowledge the places where you're really unique and authentic. And what you do really well, like spend more time thinking about that than the opposite. The next number is 13 and solitude. So again, they're really pointing you back inward to doing the inner work, to kind of get yourself on a really good footing, to call in someone that's going to be a person that's going to harmonize you and help you, instead of a person that's going to match your current state or current vibration. Yeah, so you're right on the money. They're also saying strength, 4-4, and 4-4 is everything's going to be okay. And the strength card, so inner strength. And strength is really, just as a little tip, it's never something you want to pray for, because if you pray for strength, the universe is going to give you a ton of stuff that tests you and push you to your limits to make you stronger. So seriously, never pray for strength unless you really want your life to get hard. But you might want to pray for self-love, for ease and grace, for for more awareness of any negative thoughts or blockages. Now, you might then also get triggered by other people, because those other people are going to be mirrors and they're going to show you where your blind spots are. But ease and grace is always a good thing to pray for. Ease and grace and mastery is one of my favorites. Sometimes I'll say, universe, can you show me what I'm doing right? Can you show me what I need to lean into? So those are really good things. I mean, again, I don't shy away from the triggers. That's like gold. It's like, great, show me my blind spots, and then I can just charge through them, process them, and get it over with, becoming a better human. But so the strength card, though, they're kind of saying that's where you've already been. Like, you've overcome many things in your life. And they're also showing a lot of Mother Earth vibes here. So you're in a place right now where, as we've discussed, you're coming back into your body. You're grounding your life force, your essence, back into your physical body. You're becoming more in touch, more in tune, after maybe a long period of distraction, where you might have been eating your feelings or codependent with other people. Yep. So Gaia's here for you, baby. And I want you to just note too, they're literally like climbing out of this like rock situation. It's like you're like a lotus coming out of the mud, growing out of the mud. Kind of says you've kind of been down in it for a while and you're starting to like climb out of it. So they're kind of saying, and there's a couple like, flowers in here and stuff. They're kind of saying, you're on the back side of that. And I'm just being called to pull some fairy guidance from you, very connected to the earth. And they want to talk to you. Okay, so, well, you're in the right place. They're talking about music here. And listen carefully, for there may be a message in music you hear. And music, what this card actually represents is how there's this thing called clairaudience. Are you familiar with clairaudience? And it's funny, you're working on the crown chakra. And one of the things that comes in sometimes when people start to open their crown or their third eye is the gift of clairaudience. Clairaudience is the ability to clear hearing is what it is. And it means that what you hear, what you tune into in your experience is directly for you. Everything that you hear, you're supposed to hear. And these are subtle messages from the universe, subtle messages that you've actually sent yourself for a reason, for a purpose. So they're saying they want you to really start, again, holding the space, being in the moment, really starting to use your senses, not only to ground further into your experience, into your body, and to start commanding your power. Because as we start using the gifts that God's given us and grounding into our physical body, because using your senses really is grounding, because when you're using all of your senses, you're in the moment. You're literally listening, seeing, tasting, touching, smelling. And so you're more likely to be picking up everything that's there for you in your experience. So, yeah, good. Feeling it. That's another sensory thing, right? And so tapping into the gifts of each of the chakras too, being, doing, feeling, the I am. The I am is I am here now. Yeah, totally. So, but the other thing I want to just say about clairaudience, you're on Twitch. There's tons of DJs on Twitch, and this is a place for music. So I can only assume gaming goes hand in hand with music, that you also like music. If you wake up in the morning, you talk about dreaming, and you have a song that just pops into your head, go listen to that song and listen to the lyrics, because oftentimes what I find is there is a message for me, for my day, in that song, and it can be quite profound. In fact, I've even had times where I'm not listening to music and music will just come into my experience, and then I'll remember an episode that song was in from the TV or a movie, and I'll go watch it, and there's even like a super profound message in the episode or in the movie. So following these little clues from the universe, or clues from yourself, because they really are set up by your RAS in your brain, which is the Google search feature in your brain, which actually creates your experience. But it can be a really fun little thing to do. Just think of yourself as a little James Bond, and you're constantly getting codes. So that can be a really fun thing to do. So they have some more they want to say to you here. So you're in a period of transformation, no duh. We can kind of feel that, right? And look, where are her hands right now? They're totally on her head, and they're near her ears, which is kind of comical. But they're also like hugging her heart. So again, this is showing us, the expansion that you're working on in your head, and also the self-love that you are. Hi, hey you, cutie pie. Yes, I sure am. And if Chris is still here, he would be next, and then you would be next after that. I'm almost done with this reading. Happy new moon. Yes, beautiful times. And X-class solar flares. So if you guys are feeling, that's the other thing I wanted to tell you, DJ Jaffa, is that there's X-class solar flare energy coming into the planet, specifically today, really high, massive protons, massive radioactivity in the field. So it's commonplace that you might have odd sleeping, digestive issues, and depending on what chakra the solar flares are hitting you at, wherever you need to be purified, that's where you're going to feel physical symptoms. So they're purifying, and this all goes hand in hand, they're purifying your sacral and your root chakra, which is where self-love typically lives. So again, it's all connected. Yeah, and the crown has been what they've been activating for the collective this week. So you're on it. Just trust yourself, and if anything, the divine wants you to just slow down and trust yourself more, and really give yourself the opportunity to tap into your senses more and ground into your powers. 100%, bro. Awesome. Okay, so the other card that they're given is abundance. And abundance can be monetary, it can be in love, it can be in the bank of the universe. So beautiful miracles, synchronicities, being in flow, health. So, I mean, honestly, these are some of the best cards you can pull out of the whole deck right here. And this card, the abundance card, it's literally like raining down all around her. And remember how I said you were like a lotus? They were showing me like mud, and you were like a lotus blooming out of the mud. You got the lotus right here. This is when you step into your power fully, and you give yourself the gift of self-love and really start clearing and releasing mental blocks, is what they're saying right on the card. So it's beautiful. So, I mean, basically right now there's something in your subconscious that's telling you aren't worthy. And finding and rooting that out and repatterning that is going to be the thing for you to do. Oh, perfect. Yeah, see, source knows. I mean, then this isn't me, right? It's the energy of what I do is I tap into the collective and quantum field, and I just pull in that information. So it's not really me doing anything but being a clear channel. So for you, it's going to be about self-love, I am enough type mantras. I am worthy of everything I desire would be a good mantra for you. I am whole, healed, and harmonized in my physical vessel. Things like that. And I would really go find, like on Spotify or wherever you get your music, go find a self-love, self-care, safe in my body mantras, a meditation or guided meditation or frequency that you can just listen to while you're sleeping. And that's a wonderful way to just retrain and repattern your subconscious. And also, but also notice what you're noticing. I'll give you that piece of advice. This will help you live in the moment too. Notice when you're having negative thoughts. And sometimes, like when my angels, they won't stand for it. So they send me ringing in my ear when I'm going into negative thought space. And so they'll send ringing in my ear, and I'll be like, oh, okay, angels are sending me a download. And then I'll be like, what was I thinking? Oh, I was having negative self-talk. So, because they're saying you might have clairaudience, yeah, they might be doing something like that for you too. And I just got mega chills for confirmation. So they are speaking to you. The guides are on you, buddy. And they really are communicating through ear sensory experiences a lot for you. So if you get fullness in your ears, ringing in your ears, or if you ever just feel like, typically for me, it's one side where there's just a presence where I can hear everything really clearly over here, but suddenly it's like sounds muted on one side. Typically that means you have an angel or guide literally standing right there. Yeah, exactamundo. And you can figure out what side it is, and that's they're typically talking to you about either a masculine or feminine trait. So your left side is feminine and your right side's masculine. So that's another clue to what in your body needs to be harmonized. So, I mean, literally, we are walking around in a sea of clues for us every day. It's just that the way our culture has trained us has us so distracted by this, that, and the other thing, all this crap we in theory have to do. But really the way I live is in full flow. I know that I don't have to do anything, and source will provide me everything I need. I'm talking, I barely work. I maybe work 3 hours a week, and I live in a French chateau, and accomplished 4 bucket list items last year. So, it's not like I'm rich, but I'm rich in the way that my time, I have freedom in my life, and I'm not bound to needing to do or be anything. And that's the reality. We are infinitely abundant, and we are infinitely deserving, but everything that has been pitched to us in most of culture is to take us away from our power. Now, again, a little conspiracy theorist, but this is what I know of the universe. And so anyway, I hope you found that reading helpful. Thanks for jumping on. And of course, if you like what you experienced, I always will welcome gifts, subs, tips. I haven't even put a tip link up yet. I really should, but I do have a Venmo. Or also a sub. Channel subs are always good. And all right, so Chris, are you still here? And if so, would you like a reading, my friend? And I will give you 30, 40 seconds, because knowing you, you're probably watching like 3 streams at one time. Editing photos. You're a multi-dimensional multitasker. I know that about you. Is there a way to get a healing for your heart space? Sure. Sure. And Mrs. Ural, if you are yeah, amazing. If you want a reading, hun, or some healing, just write it in the chat. And then I'll do a quick healing on DJ Dafa, and then we'll get to you. And then I think, like I said, Chris bops around, so he might not still be here. Just going back in the chat real quick. Okay. Okay, so DJ Dafa, permission to tune in. Connecting with your guides. I want you to take a really big, deep breath for me from the root chakra. Try and do a 7 up, pause for 2, and then out like you're breathing out through a straw. Now for the next breath, I want you to breathe in and out of your throat chakra. So we're going to physically watch the air go through this space and then back through on the out breath. So in through the nose and the throat, out through like you're breathing through a straw. And I'm getting one more for that. And can you feel your third eye and your crown opening as we do this? Yeah, you've got a little blockage on the front and back side of your throat here. A lot of times the heart will connect, it connects to all the other chakras, right? So when we clear some of these other chakras, it actually helps aid the heart clearing. So I want you to just keep breathing like that, and I'm going to work on some throat real quick. And I can already feel your crown, your feminine side of your crown opening, and your third eye, which is beautiful. So it's happening really quick. It's just under the surface. The throat is a little more bogged down. You've been repressing for a while. Giving your power away in some way. And I'm getting the sense that in your childhood, you maybe had a little bit of abandonment or not being heard. And that's where, again, the I am enough, I am worthy will really help. Just gonna massage the inside of your throat. Now, I can also feel this activating your third eye and your sacral chakra, maybe a little in your solar plexus too. So if you start to feel a little nauseous, all is well. Just be with what is, keep breathing. Now we're pulling something out of your stomach here. A wounded child wants to be held and loved, so we're just going to talk to your wounded child really quick. Okay, hey buddy. It's okay. Come on out. Come on out. They're kind of in a little ball. They're like turned, like facing your back side, which might be why you're having a little pain in your back. So come on out. It's okay. Yeah, can you feel the expansion? Yeah, we're focusing on you now. We're going to make you feel safe. Here, come on out. Come on into the heart. And I want you to just breathe into your stomach. Just give it lots of breath, lots of love. Imagine if you ever had like a family pet, how much you loved it. If you ever had a sibling, how much you loved them. Or like any loves in your life, like what that felt like to truly love, and focus this energy on your stomach, on that wounded child. Something at age 12 was very impactful for you. something that took away a little bit of your carefree nature. You're just going to feel some waves in your stomach. And maybe your back, the right side of your back, there's a little anchor there. We're going to just take out a hook. Universe, free and clear any hooks in the lower back. Right side. Angel Zachiel, please help with that. Assist that. Raphael, can you work on the back side of the left side of the heart? And we're going to ask Michael, dearest Michael, can you clear the back side of the feminine pineal gland and the upper 3 vertebrae in the spine? And I'll just hold space. Let me know when it's done. Thank you. You're going to feel a little nauseous here. After this, I will ask that you get up and get a glass of water. And they're saying anything with electrolytes, if you have any juice, that would be good. An orange. Oh, you just had a big release. Holy moly. That felt really good. I'm getting full body chills. Woo-wee. So yeah, a lot of the work, you've been doing it because it's ready to come out, which is super beautiful. All right, harmonize the field, please. We call in the Divine Mother and beautiful priestess energies. Mother Gaia, who might be a really good asset for you. On both sides, please, let's harmonize the field. Peace and tranquility. Please give peace to the solar plexus as it continues to integrate this healing over the next 72 hours to 10 days. With ease and grace, please, mothers. And bringing that wounded inner child up to the heart space. Please, extra nurturing from the Divine Mothers, wrapping them in a mirrored, seamless cocoon, filling it with the maximum love and light from the highest of the high of consciousness. Now, it is done, it is done, it is done. And as you have a release in really your lower chakras, your root, your sacral, your throat a little, and your heart a little, but a lot of this was down in the actual place where it was living is in your root and your sacral. You're going to want to continue to do work on this, continue to do breath work, they're saying is really good. Continue to detox, so flushing with fruits and liquids. And really thinking about how you can breathe into the back side of your body. So when we breathe, if we can think of it more as like a sideways O, where it's coming up the back side of our spine and then going down the front. A lot of the back side of your chakras are closed. So a lot of people only think of the front side of their chakras and then they only think of masculine, feminine, left, right. Well, everything is front, back, goes all the way through. So, okay, well, hopefully that felt good. Felt pretty powerful, but I'm feeling a little discomfort in the solar plexus, a little nausea in the gut, and a little pain in the back. So that'll kind of dissipate over the next 72 hours. Just continue to trust it. Continue to let it move through with ease and grace. Breath work will be very good for you. All right. Miss Ural, you still here? Oh, you're so very welcome. Thanks for jumping on. I really appreciate it. And yeah, be really kind to yourself. The self-love is the biggest thing to be in right now, to be on the ascension path. Literally these solar flares that have been nonstop since the first of the year, really intense, like biggest since the 1800s. the whole point of them is to bring you into your I am and bring you into your full power and authenticity. So you're doing great. Well, I may have lost the other viewers, which is totally fine. Let's see. Oh, it looks like we've got some lurkers. If any of you lurkers would like a reading, thanks for joining, or a healing for that matter. You can just write it in the chat. Either yes, I would love a reading, or you can just also say what, if you have a question, or if you want me to try and speak to one of your ancestors. I'm also a medical intuit, so if you have any illness or ailments, I can look into your physical body and find it and do some clearing for you. I also do past life regression, aura readings. Thanks DJ Daffa. Oh, so good to hear. It's always so reaffirming, right? To hear the things, like for a lot of us, we never get to hear in our daily experience. Like people don't just go around saying, hey, you're doing great. I do. I'm one of the weirdos that does, but just dropping stuff. Thank you. I love validation. The wounded child in me that I've been healing and bringing up into my heart space loves validation. Oh, good. Do you want a reading, love, or a healing? It sounded like your guides wanted you to have a healing, but I'm happy to do both. Although I want to just say to you, Miss Yorl, I feel like you've really come through a hurdle lately. Actually, no. What I think you need to do is lean into your joy. And I think you've already been doing it, because I can feel it in your energy field. I can see it in what you're doing lately. Like when I came to visit you, you were in a transitional space, I'll say. And I really see you stepping more into your love and joy. And yeah, so that guilt, it's just a wounded inner child. You just have a little shame still. And part of that is the feedback that you've received in the past. And, no one means malice to you, but because of your inner wounding and the shame that you had, it projected that into your reality. So you've experienced some, bullying, people kind of being mean, people not mirroring back to you the love and the unicorn nature that you share into the world. And it's frankly, it's beat you down a little bit. Guess what? That's my whole story too. Until I realized that, fuck them all. What only matters is how I feel about myself. And if I can know that I'm awesome, remind myself every single day that I deserve everything that my heart desires, and I am freaking magical, and so are you. You're like a goddamn walking unicorn. And you have such a big heart. You have such a big heart, and that is a superpower. And I want you to literally walk around in the world like imagining that like fairy dust is shooting out of all your pores, because it is. It literally is. You have this beautiful big heart, and it is your superpower. And you need to give that heart to yourself. You need to open the back side of it. And I'm getting the feminine side more to yourself, and reflect it back. And then that will start to reflect in your world and your experience too. And you'll just be more and more abundant, more and more successful. So that's what I'm feeling, again, like this is already naturally happening in your field as you just start saying fuck it and doing what you would love, despite the outcome, despite how many people sign up, despite how many people support you, despite, if anyone else thinks it's a good idea. If it feels passionate to you and it feels like the right thing for you, then do it. Just do it. Separate it from money. Just stick with the passion. Stick with what lights you up. Stick with whatever feels electric. And with each time you make that decision where you choose yourself over anything outside yourself, that is coming back into your power. That's pulling your life force into your physical vessel. You're going to heal yourself from the inside out, and you're going to heal your reality. You're going to start generating a full new experience for yourself. So it really is magical. And like I said, I've already seen it. I can feel it in your field. One of my superpowers is when I meet people, I automatically see them. I see them for everything they are. And I always thought everyone had this. And I was always like, why are people being such assholes? But turns out not everyone has that. But when I meet someone, just getting a little parched. When I meet someone, I see who they've been, where they've been, who they think they could be, but who they actually could be, their higher self, and who they are now. And so one of the things, I have a really big, massive heart. And so one of my superpowers is that I see the magic in almost everyone. And it took me a while to gain my boundaries so that I wasn't exhausting myself trying to show everyone that love. I really had to kind of tone it down a little bit, and I still send people love, but I don't have to physically go through the act of doing it every day. And I can actually spend some of that time giving myself some love, giving mama some love. But anyway, so that's what I'm feeling for you. Yeah, just totally stepping into your authenticity and not giving one rat's ass what anyone else says or thinks. It's really about you doing it for you and doing it because it fills your cup and not for the money, because guess what? The money follows passion and abundance follows passion. Passion is magnetic. And so as soon as you start following and being your true authentic self, the money follows. And I know, it's not like you're hard up for money, but you would like your events to be success. You're such a bleeding heart that you feel like it's your responsibility to make these events be super successful. And guess what? The most powerful way you can do that is just going further inward, giving yourself more love, stepping out in your power more, because then the universe will naturally bring more to you. Less worrying, less feeling unhealed. So this is one thing that in spiritual rhetoric that I don't love. A lot of people talk about doing the shadow work and how everyone's broken. And the problem with that is that we all already believe we're broken. And so it only validates the pattern of what's held us back in what I say in the current outcomes of what society has done to us. So it's almost better to just say, I am open to healing and just being curious, being open to whatever comes up, but not going looking for it. Because if you are open to being in your authenticity, to creating, to stepping into your power, universe will show you what needs to be healed, and it'll bring it up when it needs to be healed. Like you said, you walked into a bookstore today, you opened a book, and it told you, hey, there's some healing that needs to happen. And here you are. I just happen to be streaming right tonight, and here you are. So I'll give you some healing in sec once I finish this tea. But my words are spellcasters, so we're already doing the healing. So, what they're really saying for you is like, stop thinking you're broken. Just stop thinking you're broken. Start stepping into the version of you that's already healed and whole. And like I said, you've been doing so much lately. You've been doing fundraisers and going to concerts, and that is your happy place. That fills you up. So naturally, you've been stepping more into your power and into your authenticity. But there are phases where something happens. Maybe you're shifting into a lower timeline version of yourself. I'm not sure. And I'll say up until now, because again, the energy in your field feels very different right now than it did when I was there for TwitchCon. I really think that you've broken through some barriers. So what the guides are saying is they're just kind of saying keep it up. And I'm being called to pull from the fairy deck for you. No big surprise. I do have a unicorn deck, which I'm tempted to walk across the room and get just for you. It's not 100% unicorn deck, but I would say, 20% of the deck is unicorns. Ooh. They're really thinking. I think that there's so many timelines in flux for you right now. Have you felt a little discombobulated lately? Like you're having a wonderful time, but also sometimes you're not sure what to do next? I think that you might be jumping timelines. Yeah, so they're telling me you've got about... So let me give you guys some good information for those of you that are here. So we're constantly jumping timelines, and I'm not sure if any of you have seen The Matrix, but in The Matrix, he gets to the end, he's sitting with the chairman or whatever, and he shows him on the screen all the times Neo's been there before already, come to the end of the game. He just doesn't remember. He's tried all these different things, all these different responses to get him there. He always ends up getting to the same place, but it's through various different choices. And, our higher self we've already achieved, the higher self already exists. Everything already exists in the quantum field. It's just how long is it going to take us to become reunited? And so when we don't live our truth, when we're not living our truth, when we're not pursuing our passions, when we are living someone else's dreams, investing our power into other people's words, or being codependent, or not using our discernment with where to put ourselves and what makes us feel good, or when we're lying. And lying isn't necessarily like blatantly lying, but again, let's say for example, I was supposed to go out with some friends and I'm just not feeling it that night. Maybe I got my lady time, or I'd rather watch a movie. Maybe I'm on a diet and I don't want to be tempted. If I lie to those friends and I don't tell them the truth, that fractalizes your timeline. So it spins off a parallel version of the timeline you're currently on. And it's just another timeline version for you to jump in between to stay in your highest possible timeline. And when you're in your highest timeline, you're in flow with the universe. You're attracting, you're harmonizing your masculine and feminine. Everything's just much easier. You feel electric, and you're more creative. Just everything comes easier. You're in what I like to call the miracle zone. And so anyway, what I'm getting is that there's a few different timeline versions of you right now. So sometimes when the cards are super hard to shuffle, it's because a bunch of those strings are being pulled and manipulated and moving based on your actions right now, based on your self-think, based on the choices that you're making. Are they for you? Are you stepping into your power? Are you running from fear or moving towards it, using it for feedback? So sometimes that's what they're telling me when the cards are super clunky to shuffle and they just won't go together. It's literally saying there's a bunch of timelines that are in the process of finding. What they do is you sew them together. You eventually zipper them together, and then you don't have to go back to the lowest versions of those timelines anymore because you've mastered them. You've broken that cycle. So that's the other thing. If you feel like you're in Groundhog Day ever, and you're like, oh, this again, I've been through this heartache before, or I've been through this lesson before, try and do the opposite of what you've done before. Literally try something new to break that pattern, and that brings you one timeline less, basically to jump closer into your highest dharma, your highest path. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay, so find balance, they're saying. Find the balance between work, rest, and playtime, and you will have more energy, harmony, and productivity in your life. Take a power nap. So one of the things that, you know, I know that you're pretty good at chilling, but I think in your subconscious, you always feel like you need to be doing something or producing something to make up your worth. And again, that is a child wounding of I am not enough. And oh yeah, I know you. But also the universe knows you, and that's who I'm channeling. And so they're saying that you can give yourself a break. You are already magical just by the fact of how big your heart is and how much you care. You're already putting love into the quantum field. You are a generator of love in the quantum field. So even just by being present on the planet, you are already doing what you're here to do. Do you hear that? I want to just say that one more time. Even by being, just simply being here in a human body, you're already doing what you're supposed to be doing here on this planet. Yeah. Crystallize that into your cells, all right? So anything extra that you decide to do to help humanity, it's all bonus. It's just gravy. So just take the pressure off of it. Just say, this isn't a job. This is my passion, and I do it for fun. And universe doesn't expect me to do anything. The whole idea that we need to have outcomes or efficiencies or be productive, that's man-made. That is power-hungry, man-made entities trying to separate us from our power and the truth, which is that we are infinitely divine, we're infinitely abundant, and we have full access to everything that we deserve and that we desire, and that's totally legit. There's no reason to be shameful or guilty about wanting things. And we, in theory, have full access. It's just that we've been programmed to think otherwise. And that's how I live my life. Literally, Source provides everything for me. Free groceries, my rent's paid every month. I go on trips that I want to go on. You know, if they're in my highest good. If they're in, you know, I've chosen a much more difficult path than a lot of people because I'm a freaking old soul, and I signed up for that. But for you, they're literally saying, just receive. You just be willing to receive and play. Like, be your unicorn self. So finding balance. They want to tell you more, and they want me to just split the deck instead of shuffling. So they want you to tap into your dark side. So I'm getting that, and this is a little private, so I'm going to try and say it in a way that's not super out there, but the moon represents our feminine side, and the moon represents a lot of sensuality, sexuality. I just want you to tap into that and just see if there's anything unexplored there that you have shame around or self-judgment around. This is going to really allow you to break open your heart even further and be even more powerful. So they're wanting you to connect with the stars and the moon. So spending more time, you know, outside in that beautiful backyard of yours. And really trying to feel the stars in your body. So when you look up at a constellation, a beautiful thing to do is we cast spells with our words, and that's why they call it spelling. And one thing you can do is when you look at the stars, you don't even have to know the names of the stars. You just say, I call in the highest aspects, or I connect my physical body with the highest aspects of these planets and stars. Because we are stardust. We're just made up of the planets. We're just little bits of stardust pulled together. And as you start to connect with different planets and their different aspects, you start to become back into your divine natural state. And they're really, really wanting you to connect with what you have seen, I'm getting, as maybe the darker side of some of your desires, or things that you've been like wanting to pursue, but you're hesitant because what about my image, or I've always been a good girl. And I know that you're into most things and you're pretty liberal, so who knows what what wants to be freed. But there's something that they're saying, you know, and it's a divine feminine. It feels very sensual, very expressive. So there's something there that they want. And the funny thing is, the dark side, a lot of people equate that with magic, you know, witchcraft, you know, and you don't have to be a dark witch. You can be a white witch. And you can use your spells for good. You can use your spells, even dark spells can be used to break down barriers for love in, you know, the community. And you just make sure that you're dealing with people's higher self, that you're getting permission, and that you're always saying for the highest good, for the most love and light or consciousness. So, you know, they're saying open your eyes, magic is all around, and that you are magical. It's part of your nature. And they're really showing me, again, same as the last reading, the backside of your chakras. So again, there's, you know, a lot of people, you know, divine feminine, divine masculine. So it's left, right, but it's also front, back. And so they're wanting you to like harmonize both sides of your energy field as well. So yeah, they're really wanting you to allow yourself to lead a more carefree, magical life without worrying about being productive or doing it the right way or even being organized. They're just like, it's better for you to be there and be present and to be doing and in passion than to be, you know how they always say, don't let perfection be the barrier to progress. So, all right. So let me just, for healing. So we're going to your heart first. And your solar plexus. And they're wanting me to do a little sound for you. Haha, that's hilarious. They're wanting me to do a little sound for you, okay? So. They're saying they want you to actually listen to some more calming music. They're not nothing against EDM, but they want you to actually also, when you're getting ready for bed or, you know, first thing in the morning, they would like you to listen to something that feels very calming, you know, piano music, harp music, something that the fairies would really identify, even binaural beats, or like, you know, Mozart, or not even Mozart, like there's some more gentle, like soundtracks and like violin, and they're really, this would be very comforting to your adrenal glands and to your heart. So they're telling me that your adrenals, this is part of the reason that you're a little wound up, is caffeine and your sugar, and your adrenals are really overworking right now, which is causing some other physical issues in your experience, maybe headaches, maybe sometimes joint pain. They're showing me like your left shoulder blade. So they're saying, you know, if you can find just some extra time to just really turn everything off and just really just be with your body. This is very sensual too, right? So this could be really helping of that and just really nurturing yourself. So baths would be really good for you. Some really nice bubble baths and putting on some music, really doing it up, you know, if you got rose petals or essential oils, and putting on some really calming music and really listening to, getting stoned and listening to some really beautiful music, or laying in your living room with your little light thing would be phenomenal for you, or just stargazing, you know, simply grounding. Now, when you ground into the earth, you don't want to have a bunch of synthetic fibers between you and the ground. Hey, Tripwire, what up, girlfriend? You would want to have natural fibers, so cotton, linen, wool, or if you can be, you know, naked, skin on the ground. You can also just touch your head to the ground or touch your forehead to a tree. But they're really recommending grounding would be super nurturing and really send like a lightning bolt of calming energy to your adrenals. And if you can, pull back on caffeine, or just supplement any caffeine. If you drink caffeine, say, okay, with this caffeine, I need to drink equal amounts of water, or I need to do equal amounts of something that's calming to my energy. Because they're really saying your adrenals are getting pretty off, and it's starting to, it could become an issue if you don't listen. So they're really wanting you to just let yourself chill, and more like calming the mind, calming the physical body. Literally hugging yourself would be epic. And I know your beautiful husband gives you lots of love, and even just asking, you know, more hugs. You know, the average human is actually supposed to have like 30 hugs a day, and by that nature, I'm so far behind. So I hope that's helpful, Sweet Pea. Yeah, I didn't do much healing, sorry, more talking, but they are they're actually saying now the healing almost needs to be done from the outside in, like repatterning just a few patterns in your life. So hopefully that's helpful. Anyone else that's lurking, want a reading, just let me know in the chat. Renee, I've never given you a reading. Is that something you'd ever want? I mean, I'm not going to tell anyone who I'm talking to. But if anyone here wants a reading, just type yes in the chat. I try not to use people's names because that's not respectful. But sometimes I get so excited. I'm like Jojo the Idiot Circus Boy with a pretty little pet. Does anyone know Tommy Boy? It's like one of my all-time favorite movies. All right, well, if no one else wants a reading, what I'll probably do is pull a card for the collective. And this would be a general theme that's for everyone. Woo! Is anyone feeling the massive activations in their crown chakra right now? Holy moly. Yesterday, my whole skeleton felt like it was getting an upgrade. All right, they shot out a bunch of cards for the collective. Clear the clutter. That checks out. I actually pulled a card this morning and it told me to spring clean early. Selenite. And selenite is a really cool gemstone that clears energy, negative, positive, any energy really. It just cleans the slate, and you never have to purify it. You never have to put it out and bury it or put it in salt, or you never have to put it under the moon to cleanse it. So it's a really magical thing to have around. It's a wonderful thing to keep in your purse or your car. If you can get earrings or a necklace, or a selenite ring, it is a really amazing gemstone. So they're saying clear the clutter. Now, this doesn't just mean in your physical space. I will say the way that the energetic field works is the more cluttered our field is, and that can be stuff, physical stuff. It can be mental, it can be thoughts, it can be plans, overly planning ourselves. Oh, throat chakra stuff. Someone's processing some throat chakra stuff here. Did someone just join? Oh, I'm so curious now. If you just joined and you want any healing on your throat chakra, please let me know, because that just came on like a ton of bricks. So anyway, as I was saying, is the more cluttered your field is, either with stuff, with plans, with thoughts, the harder it is for the natural abundance flow of the universe to come into you, to come into your experience. The harder it is for old things to move out and new things that match your progress to come in. So people a lot of times say, I feel stuck. Like I feel like I've been trying to manifest or dreaming about this new thing or calling in a new job, but they feel stuck. Well, a lot of times it's because you've put it out there, but you're either still holding on tightly to it, which is not an expansive energy. It's tightness is tight. It's really everything really close together, or you haven't let go of anything from your field. Let go. Sometimes you're actually more likely to get a job despite what you've heard if you can let go of the other one, or blind faith, put in your notice, especially if your passion's not in it. Because letting go actually frees up your passion. And those last 2 weeks of a job, you go in every day as if it's your last day and you have nothing to lose. So suddenly that job starts feeling more expansive and you're like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't leave this job. No, you should. It's just that your whole mindset has shifted and it's more expansive now. You have more passion. Your field is more alive with the positive pieces of the energy instead of the more tight energy, which is not an attractive energy. So that's also the law of abundance, but also the law of attraction. So anyway, just talking about that, because the card says clear your clutter. So that could be, making less plans, leaving more room for universe to bring in that stuff that's better than what you can even dream of. It can also mean literally physically clearing some clutter so new material things can come in, or it can mean slowing down the mind. Okay, so the other card that came in, and by the way, this is a crystal inspiration deck by Heather Askinosi. Amazonite, loosen your grip. What was I just talking about? Amazing. So if you, hey, welcome. Thank you so much for the subscription. Boop, boop. Props. I'm going to give you some emote props, man. That's amazing. And please, if you'd like a reading, just let me know, or healing or whatever. Oh, for some reason my phone froze and it's not letting me put, it's not letting, healing or whatever. Oh, I don't know what's going on with my phone. So I won't put you emotes, but I'll just give you a little happy dance. Anyway, so on with the reading. So, I was going to tell you something about, in astrology right now. You're interested in learning about Reiki. Okay, I can talk about Reiki in a little bit here. Once I finish the collective reading. So one of the things that's happening in astrology right now, we've just moved into the beginning phases of the age of Aquarius. And we haven't been in the age of Aquarius in a very long time, since like the beginning of the industrial age. And maybe even further back than that, actually. Anyway, very long time. And the age of Aquarius is all about stepping back into our power, stepping back into our creativity, taking our life force back, really dismantling anything that's kept us stuck. And so there's a massive chapter closing that's happening in the collective. And a lot of people will go through it without even noticing that it's happening to so many people in the field. People leaving husbands, boyfriends, jobs, people deciding to stop drinking, people going off meat, people just making these massive chapter endings or life decisions is happening right now, just across the board. TV viewership is down like 17%. People are walking away from TV. Probably, honestly, they're mostly watching Twitch and TikTok, but whatever. It's still different, right? It's still new. It's still different. It's still, to some degree, a change. But anyway, so it's a time of massive chapter closings and massive new beginnings. So it's no surprise that these cards are coming in saying, let go, loosen your grip, clear clutter. It all is in alignment with what I just talked about. Is when you do that, you allow for the old to expire naturally and the new to come in. So if there's anything in your life that's feeling really difficult right now and you're trying to hold on to it, so maybe it appears like a bad thing, like a boyfriend's breaking up with you or something, universe is probably like, hey, this relationship is no longer good for you. It's no longer matching your vibration. We're going to try and take it away from you to give you something better. But the longer you hold on to and don't just be with what is, this new thing can't come in because the attention, the awareness, the space isn't there for it. So anyway, hopefully that helps. I just thought that would be helpful to talk about. Heal your heart. So again, when I talk about coming back into your power, stepping back into your authenticity, and rainbow obsidian is one of my favorites because it's a protective stone, but also it's a rainbow. Look at it. It's so beautiful. So healing your hurt means, working on clearing out old limiting beliefs, working with the wounded child, stepping back into your power, breaking patterns of codependency, using your discernment. Do you hanging out with any friends that make you feel exhausted? Or where you're constantly the giver. They never reach out to you. You always have to reach out to them. These are situations of codependency and that aren't reciprocal. And universe might be trying to tell you it's time to start spending your energy in other ways. So healing your heart. And I think that's it. They gave those 3 cards. So those feel very, very... 3 cards. Very, very resonant. So that's for the collective. All right, so Reiki. Hit me up, SC. I'm wondering if you can let me know in the chat what specifically you'd like to know. I mean, I'll just start talking about Reiki in general, but you can also ask, you can help me. As you notice, I'm long-winded. You can help me by asking more specific questions. So, the Reiki is ancient healing modality or energy working modality where you're tapping into the quantum field, the energy field, and it's really available to any of us. You technically don't really need a certification. I don't even think you need a certification to practice Reiki, but in our societies has told us that we need that. Another way that they try and separate us from our power. So Reiki is an ancient Asian modality, and I practice Usui. So there was a Dr. Usui who taught not only how to tap into the energy field, but also give you symbols and codes so you can work with mudras and actually spell casting, I guess. But it's really not like some people don't love the term spell casting because they think of witches as a bad thing. I think of witches as people that have been wronged by labeling and fear in the past. And most of the people that I know that are practicing witchcraft, there are amazing, beautiful people with huge hearts that just want to try something different than everyone else, and tap into energy. So anyway, but I'm going to call it spell casting because anytime we use our hands to talk, we're saying something. We're either creating something in our reality or we're showing something about ourselves. So I use my hands to talk a lot, and sometimes it's in mudras. Sometimes, like when people are saying something like this, it's showing protection. It's showing that, you know, they are wanting of more love or more protection. When they speak with their hands like this, they might be more willing to be vulnerable. They might, you know, so anyway, there's all these things that you can, you know, if people are using this hand motion ever, this is a motion that sows peace into the energy field. So anyway, you can use Reiki to do healing and to tap into the energy field, to tap into the chakra systems, to find where there's any energy imbalances, dips, ebbs, flows, places where the life force is not balanced or is not active, and you can restore that. And basically, you know, you can do an example just so you can feel the energy field. If you rub your hands together really fast and get in through all the fingers, just really fast, maybe shake it out, and I'll bring them back together really fast again. And now just hold them like a centimeter apart. And can you feel that energy pulsing back and forth between your hands? You basically just tapped into the energy field. And almost anyone and everyone can do it. It's just that a lot of people don't realize it. They just don't think about it. They're not open to it. So that's kind of what Reiki is. And you don't physically touch the body. You typically would find out where the person's energy field is, and then you'd do a series of guided, channeled, I don't like the word manipulation, but molding, healing, moving, reallocating of energy. And it's really interesting because when I do it, people can usually feel it. I've even had sessions where they're like, "You're not touching me right now, right?" I'm like, "Nope." They'll literally feel me in there working. So it's pretty cool. So hopefully that answered your question, and you can certainly go look it up online too. Aura readings, okay. So do you want an aura reading right now? Is that what you're asking? And also, if you guys are enjoying if you're picking up what I'm laying down and you're digging it, I gladly accept subs, bits, and I haven't put a tip link in there, but I do have a Venmo. All of my social media is LovesToGather. So you can find me on TikTok, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. I do a lot of letting people know what's going on astrologically, letting people know what's going on with the solar flares, how that might feel or translate into their experience. So it can really help you navigate what you're feeling in your physical body, whether you might be feeling tired, or it can just really help you plan for your day and not take things so personally. I also do a lot of tips. Readings I mostly save for Twitch, but and you can book me, obviously, for private readings and stuff, too. Yeah, so the aura readings, I can do a mini version on here, but they do usually take about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on what all's going on in your aura. Because I literally will tap into all of your energy fields. I'll tap into your Akashic records. Your Akashic records is the library of your soul. So it can show me past lives. It can show me traumas from current life or past life. It can show me, if you have any curses or generational protections in your energy field. Sometimes it'll show me if you have a spirit guide or an ancestor that's with you all the time. It literally will show me across dimensions what's in your auric field, what's coming, what's going. So it's pretty full on. And I also do aura portraits so people can see what I'm seeing. And the cool thing about it is it's not like the photos you've seen online. You can actually go search aura picture where they're just one dimensional, because what they're able to see with the camera is so much less than what I can see with tapping into the full energy field and tapping into your Akashic. And I can also see into other dimensional experiences. So it's really cool. And you can go look on my Instagram. I have some examples if you scroll through of some of the aura readings that I've done. Or aura portraits rather, but those are really cool, and it's not that expensive, and it's a really unique thing. It's actually a really wonderful gift. Valentine's is coming up. If anyone wants to give a super unique gift, an aura reading and an aura portrait is like, I've literally have people contact me like months later saying that the aura reading I did for them changed their whole life. And that is the best, because a lot of times you do readings for people and you never hear back, just because, whatever, they're busy living their lives. But that's happened several times where, I haven't even thought about them in a really long time. And then they're like, oh, everything that you've said came true, and I took everything to heart, and my life is like, so much better now. And it's just wonderful. It's the coolest thing. I'm so grateful for these gifts, and anyone can have these gifts. I also teach people how to hone these types of gifts, because everyone has access. It just comes down to your willingness and your awareness. But anyway, so I can give you a mini one now, but if you'd like a full-blown one, just go to my Instagram, LovesToGather, or go to LovesToGather.com, and there's a booking link right on there. In my bio on Instagram, and then on my website you just go to the booking page. Yeah, okay, so I'll do a mini reading, and all right, so we're going to, what I'd love to do is if you can DM me your full name, really, in order to tap into your Akashic, it's super helpful to have I can get a little more information. I'm not going to Google you or anything. It just, our names are actually magic. They're very profound. And I'm just going to here we go. Perfect. Thank you. Popped right in. All right. So I'm tapping into the energy field for this person, which I am picturing the name of. Calling forth any ancestors, and your angels came in hot because they are tickling my nose. Woo! Hello. That's like a really common thing for angels to do to get your attention. Woo! Especially if it's super sudden. Oh, stop it, please. Okay, I know you're here. Stop. It's too much. They're also showing me a leg spasm in your left leg, which is interesting. So that might be indicative of how they try and get your attention. So so I'd like you to tap into that. If you ever get an itchy nose like really suddenly, and it's just like comes on super sudden, especially in times of like stillness, or if you have spasms like where you feel like a muscle's like doing this, it very well might be your angel team or your guides trying to get your attention. So first things first. Now, one of the things I like to do is it just really helps me because a lot of the information comes in super fast. So I like to draw it because sometimes it comes in so fast that it's hard for me to get, because it comes in as textures and colors sometimes. So it's coming in now. Oh my God, they really love to tickle your nose. Super interesting. Do you have something to say to this person? Holy moly. When I asked that, I just heard, I'm not sure if you guys heard it, I heard this really high pitched came from outside. Wow. I just got chills. So I don't know if birds are significant to you at all, but I feel like it's indicative of like an owl screech, which usually indicates wisdom. Super interesting. Yeah, wisdom or intellect. All right. You've got a lot of colors in your field. I don't presume you're wearing a lot of crystals, but that's one thing I got to start remembering to say before I do an aura reading. You have to remove your crystals, necklaces. You can't be sitting with crystals all around you, because then they will literally, they create a harmonic field. And so your reading will come out false. It'll be like rainbows. But you do have a lot of color in your field, which is really healthy. So this is kind of structured. Green. Ugh. What else? All right, so this is a mini reading, so I'm going to stop there. Tons of stuff came in right away. So one of the things, and I can tell you have a lot of curiosity, one of the things that came in on your feminine side is a desire to tap in more to your feminine side. They're showing me a spiral. It's like an orange spiral. So some wounding, there's some wounding in your sacral chakra. So your sacral chakra is near your belly button. So this may manifest as sometimes some stomach issues or lower back issues. Typically, your sacral represents relationships, communication, creativity. So they're wanting you to tune in more into those things, and they're showing me the spiral. So what the spiral represents for me is ascension, graduating a lower density or a lower vibration around your feminine energy. And everyone has masculine and feminine energy, and when we are at our strongest life force, we're balanced. We're both receiving and giving, receiving and giving. And a lot of people in our society, we've been told we need to produce, we need to be effective and efficient. And so we're constantly giving. You know, we've been told that that's good. That's what, we should be service. But a lot of us aren't giving anything to ourselves. So that's happening in above your left kind of head here. And like I said, it's orange, indicating the sacral chakra, and it's in the future. It's in the past position. So again, associating it with some childhood wounding in your sacral chakra. So wanting you to really assess, analyze, and graduate in some of your limiting beliefs around communication, relationships, and creativity. So hopefully that's helpful. The other thing that's coming in is these, let's see, so it's again kind of your left side, and it's like these slanty yellow stripes. So usually when there's stripes like that, they're indicating movement. And I'm getting the sense that this is some movement in a different timeline version of you that you might not be consciously tapping into yet. But there's some movement happening in the field, and it is a little bit of a rebirthing for you, kind of a new chapter. And yellow is your solar plexus chakra. So that's here in your rib cage. And so because this is also in the feminine side, and this is revolving around willpower, the willpower to take action, to kind of come over, transcend fear. And I'm really getting the sense that they want you to be more creative, and that you've been suppressing something that you really are interested in creatively, because either you didn't think you're good enough, or because you couldn't see a path where it made you money, or you just get lazy and don't do it when you say you're going to. So they're they want to kind of give you some motivation to step into more of your creative endeavors, regardless of what it is, regardless of how much, but they're wanting you to really open that up. And they're showing me in movement. And it's almost like you taking steps in this direction is really going to start opening up a lot more of your mind capacity, a lot more, even more creative ideas and creative energies. And it's gonna help release you from some of the stuck feelings that you have in your life right now. I'm just asking them if there's any traumas. Yeah, they're saying this is a generational fear. So somewhere about 3 lifetimes back, you were a performer and something happened that was shameful or disgraceful, and you were like banned, or you were prevented from continuing your art form. And so that's been a wounding on your soul that's carried into the last 3 lifetimes. So again, it's really a barrier it's been a barrier up until now in your subconscious field, preventing you from creating. So they're really, this would be a chance to really cure some past life trauma and break a cycle in your soul's journey. So that's kind of huge. So if it's, music or art, or it might even be something really unique, like working with your hands, woodworking or leatherworking. I don't know. They're showing me your hands for some reason. You might be like binding something or threading something together. That's why I feel like it might be like a leather craft. Maybe making like sheaths for knives or axe handles. I don't know. They're showing me your hands, and they're showing me like weaving together leather or something brown, which is a bit interesting. Now again, it just could be representative for doing something outside. It could just be representative with, sometimes they just show me symbols that would mean something to me, like working with your hands. But they're showing me that you're creating something tangible with your creativity. All right, how are we doing so far? All quiet. So the other thing I'm seeing is this really red, thick arch over your crown. And when I tap into this, I believe that this is actually an ancestor guide that's here. Beautiful, perfect. That's what I assumed. So there's an ancestor guide that's put some sort of protection on you. And hi. Okay, they're here with me now. And I will say direct channeling isn't my expertise in terms of getting the words, but I'm going to tune into this and see if they have a message for you. So it's a feminine energy. The name might start with the B, and I will say sometimes I get middle names rather than first names. I don't know why, but Beverly, Bertha, Babs, Biddy. It feels like an old timey name, kind of, that a grandma might have as a nickname or something. Betty. I feel like there's an I in it and a B. And it feels a little grandmotherly. My own grandma, a picture of my own grandma's coming in. And this protection that they put over you is mostly in your heart. It's mostly in your heart space. And I'm not sure if you have a brother, but they're saying they put this protection over someone else in your family too. And it feels really good, man. Feels really good. I want you to just breathe into the heart space, and it bleeds into your solar plexus too. It's very warming. They're showing me that a part of you is not open to fully receive this or be tuned into it. So they're wanting me to just quickly clear a little of your heart space. Woo, getting waves of nausea too. That's how intensely this person is putting love vibes into your field. Really beautiful. So the right side of your heart, the right upper chamber of your heart, there's a little closed off, and it's connected to childhood wounding in your sacral chakra near your belly button. I want you to really just breathe into this now. Something at age 8 and age 6 in this life presented some trauma where your grandmother thought they should put a little more protection on you. Maybe some abuse from a man figure in your life, or it doesn't have to be physical, could be verbal. You're not enough. Could be just not giving you time. It could be that they just weren't very loving, physically. I'm keeping it vague on purpose because I don't want to tell your business to the world. If you want to give a yes in the chat, I can try and go deeper. Hey, Zarek, welcome in. Just doing an aura reading right now. Thanks for joining. If you'd like to go next, just let me know. Yeah, so starting to smooth out your heart, but you're feeling some activation in your sacral and your root chakra, your lower two chakras, and it might make you feel a little nauseous. So they're asking that you have a banana after this. Specifically, they showed me a banana, if you can, or something red, an apple, some berries, red juice. As you'll notice, the energy of this protection spell is red, and they are saying eat something red. Typically, if you eat for the color of the chakra, it helps heal it, because food is medicine. It can be. Some food is terrible. All right, so they're saying that I'm done with that there. So you can tap into that too. You can tap into that energy at any time. It's over your right shoulder. So even though it is a feminine energy, it came in really kind of above your head, but leaning right. So your grandmother, if that's who this is, if that's who it resonates, or grandmother type role, might have been a semi-masculine leaning woman, maybe very productive, a little stern, although I'm just feeling all the love. Oh, well, yay. Thanks, Eric. I'm so glad you popped in. It's always lovely to see you, fam. Okay, so the other thing is then also on your right side, there's this, it kind of looks like a tree trunk, but it's green. And they're showing me the words that came up are like earth. So they're showing me, and now they're showing me physical pain on the right side of my body, on the flank, like the outside flank of the abdomen. So it's something about your body needing some purification. So typically this is kind of where the appendix is, and the appendix job is purification. And they're also giving me a little pain in the left jaw. So there's something in your body that needs some further purification. Let me just tap into this a little bit. They're saying if you can limit your meat intake, especially like beef, that would be helpful for you. Whew. Wow, there's so much energy coming in around this. There's a lot that wants to talk to you. So it's your left side, it's your masculine side. Yeah, they're really just saying they need you to play up your feminine side when it comes to how you treat your body. They're really asking you to be more gentle, to really tune in and see how can you be more loving to your body in the way you treat it, with self-care, but also with food, with this need to be masculine or manly, this need to put on a mask of toughness or strength. They're really saying you don't need to do any of that, that it's really gonna feel tremendously healing to you to let that go and to just be whoever you really want to be. And they're saying that you're often afraid of being hurt because you were hurt a lot, either consciously or unconsciously, when you were a child. And that being's still here. And they're confirming in my left ear, again, feminine energy. So you're afraid of being hurt. So a lot of times you put up this mask or this strength persona, or don't show people how you really feel. Yeah, it's very raw. This is very raw for you. It's really beautiful, actually. There's this very beautiful, soft side to you that you often repress as weak. And it's really beautiful. What I can tell you, man, is it's gorgeous. So if you can show some of that to the world, I think that would actually be maybe even your superpower. I think people would instantly like fall in love with you. Yeah. So that's the last thing that came in. That's a mini reading. I'm going to stop there because that's pretty long. But yeah, there's all sorts of information that's trying to come in. Your guides would really love to be more in tune with you. There's ways that you can tap into that. And like I said, also getting a lot of nausea. This is bringing up a lot of motion for you, especially in your sacral chakra and your solar plexus. I'm just going to call on the angels. Can we please bring in peace and gentle ease and grace for this integration? And let's put some gentle energy into the sacral and the root and the solar plexus, which we just kind of did some opening of. And in your back and your kidneys, I'm feeling, of course, purification. There's a lot of pain in my kidneys right now, and that was not there a second ago. So your body is really crying out for some attention, and they want you to drink a lot more water, less sugar and caffeine, and healthy, purifying foods, cilantro, a lot of fresh herbs. Apples are really purifying, peas, green beans. Now, if you have SIBO or major stomach issues, you might want to look at the low FODMAP diet. But yeah, there's a lot of pain, and pain lives in the kidneys. Fear lives in the solar plexus and the liver, and these are your, and that also affects your appendix. So these emotions are actually starting to affect the suppression of you, the suppression of your divine feminine is starting to affect your physical health. And so definitely, if you want to be healthy, your higher self, your Akashic field is calling out to you, asking you to make some changes. So we went pretty deep there. I hope that's okay. These were very, very strong messages coming in very loud and clear. All the colors. So one of the ways that you can tell how important or how strong something's coming in is how vibrant the colors are. And all of the colors were at maximum vibrancy, except for the orange, the ascension orange, the sacral awakening. That still was a little muted, but I think again it's because it's suppressed. A lot of your wounded child is living in those lower 3 chakras. So yeah, we can go much deeper. I mean, that was only like this top part of your body. Really, I only read from here to here. So, I mean, that was the information that was sitting in that part of your field. So anyway, much love. I'm so glad you asked. People almost never ask for aura readings on here, and so it's really a joy to be able to do that. So thank you for that. And I think I'm gonna shut it down for the night, folks, unless anyone else, any lurkers or anyone else that's on would like a reading. My voice is getting a little parched, and I would love to drink this tea here and clear my energy field. So love to you all. Like I said, you can follow me at LovesToGather. I give a ton of free healing, a ton of free, helpful, useful information just for being a creature in this world. And I also love to be paid for things. That's fun for me. But I don't necessarily rely on it, and I'm happy to cheerlead and support people as I believe we're all one. And any of us doing the work helps the whole collective energy field raise the vibration of the planet and ourselves. And we're gonna raid out. I'm gonna go see who's playing and see who we'd like to raid. We're gonna raid into Neil LS. Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, so please stick around for the raid. That would be super amazing. And Neil is epic. Like, he's one of the sweetest, most amazing guys with a very entertaining channel, and he plays the most bangers. And come back and see me. So glad you joined. All right, if I did this right, we'll be transferring soon. Oh, it says unrecognized command. What did I do wrong? Help me out here, folks. I do the front slash, and then I do Neil_LS. It keeps saying unrecognized. What am I doing wrong? Let me go to my settings here and see if I can do it that way. Tools. Please stick with me. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad. Yeah. I don't know why they're not letting me raid out, and I'm just forgetting how to do it, but I feel like I'm doing it right, but it's just not happening. Can anyone else do it? Let's see. I swear to God it's /. Maybe I'm not doing at. Do you have to do the at symbol? Oh, they're not letting me raid out, and it's not registering all of my commands for whatever reason. But I really want to raid out. Let me go to my actual stream manager real quick. This is so weird. It never does this. I don't know why it's not letting me. All right, now I got it. Unless Neil was in the practice of raiding right then, sometimes that happens, but I don't think so. He usually plays pretty late in the night. All right, starting the raid. We're heading there in 8 seconds.